Claude plus Meta Ads MCP, Conversational Account Management. Meta launched its official Meta Ads MCP server on April 29th, 2026. 29 tools, full read and write access to the marketing API. Connect it to Claude and you run your entire account from a chat window in plain English. Pull a full performance breakdown every active campaign, frequency, ROAS, CTR in under 60 seconds. Ask it to flag every ad set where frequency is above 3.5 and cost per acquisition is trending up over the last 7 days. You get a formatted table back instantly. What used to take a manual ads manager session and a spreadsheet now takes one prompt. The right side is where it actually gets serious. You can create ad sets, build new ads, adjust budgets, and pause underperformers all from the same conversation. There's a built-in safeguard that matters. Anything you create through the MCP drops into pause state first. Nothing spends until you manually activate it from Ads Manager. That's not a limitation, that's the right way to run it. The ban risk that circulated early in 2026 came from browser automation and unofficial scrapers accessing the API without authorization. This is Meta's own integration, built by them on their authentication system. It's the officially sanctioned path. For day-to-day account work, auditing, reporting, flagging anomalies, drafting new structures, Claude with the MCP active compresses hours of manual work down to a handful of prompts. ChatGPT plus Meta Ads MCP, the same connector, different model. The official Meta Ads MCP isn't Claude exclusive. Meta built the connector to work with both Claude and ChatGPT from day one, with more agents described as coming online. The setup is almost identical. You authenticate with your Meta business account, paste the MCP server URL into your model's connector settings, and you're querying live campaign data from ChatGPT within minutes. Same 29 tools, same read and write access, same pause state safeguard on anything you create. If your team is already deep in the OpenAI ecosystem custom GPTs, ChatGPT Plus, the API, you don't need to switch tools to plug into your Meta account. The practical difference between running the MCP through Claude versus ChatGPT comes down to how each model handles structured output and multi-step instructions. Practitioners who've tested both consistently report that Claude handles repeatable reporting workflows, more reliably formatted tables, strict word limits, consistent structure across runs. ChatGPT tends to be more conversational and less precise on structured output when you need the same format every time. For open-ended analysis, brainstorming campaign angles, or generating copy variations off live account data, the gap closes significantly. There's one workflow where ChatGPT has a genuine edge, anything that benefits from its native web browsing. If you want the model pulling competitor ad data from the Meta ad library and cross-referencing it against your live account performance in the same conversation, ChatGPT's browsing capability handles that in a single session. The honest answer is that both work. Your choice should be whichever model you already know how to prompt well. The connector is the same. What changes is who's sitting behind it. Claude Code plus Meta Ads KLI, developer-grade agent automation. Alongside the MCP, Meta shipped the Ads CLI, a local binary that exposes the same 29 commands but is designed for Claude Code, custom agents, and automated pipelines. The MCP is for interactive chat work. The CLI is for production. The intended workflow at scale, every night, across 100 accounts, run a full audit, flag anomalies, post the summary to Slack, and trigger budget changes if ROAS is below threshold. Parallelized, scheduled, no human in the loop until the decision point. This is the tool that compresses what used to be a full-time junior media buyer's week into a script that runs while you sleep. This is also where the actual ban risk lives, and it's worth being direct about it. Bursty API traffic, aggressive automated budget changes, fully autonomous write execution without human checkpoints. That's how accounts get flagged. The practitioners who've built stable production pipelines with the CLI follow consistent rules. Never scale a budget more than 20% in a single automated move. Never run parallel write calls across multiple accounts simultaneously. Always route the final approval step through a human. Sequence your calls with delays. The CLI assumes you understand the meta marketing API well enough to know when your automation is behaving badly. If you don't have that context yet, the MCP in Claude is the right starting point. The CLI is the tool you graduate to once you've built that instinct. N8N, building custom AI ad pipelines. N8N is an open source workflow automation platform with native nodes for Claude, GPT-4, Gemini, and the Meta Ads API. It's the tool that bridges everything else on this list. The pipeline most media buyers build first pulls campaign performance data from Meta every morning, runs each creative through an AI analysis node that benchmarks it against your historical account averages, outputs structured recommendations into a Google Sheet, and delivers a Slack message summarizing what to scale, what to optimize, and what to kill. Fully automated, no manual data pulls, no CSV exports. You show up to a complete brief every morning. The specific workflow worth knowing is the dual AI analysis template. Metadata goes in, GPT-4 runs one analysis pass, Gemini runs a parallel one. Both outputs land in the same sheet, side by side. Two independent models flagging the same recommendation is a meaningfully stronger signal than one. The N8N workflow library has a published template for this that you can import and adapt. The other major use case is automated asset uploading. New creatives sitting in a Google Drive folder get ingested and uploaded to Ads Manager without a human touching the interface. N8N self-hosted is free, which is relevant for agencies managing client data they don't want running through a SaaS platform. The learning curve is real. Plan 2 to 4 hours to get your first useful workflow running. The payoff compounds every week after that. If you're getting value from this, subscribe and hit the bell. More of this coming. Let's keep going. ChatGPT image generation, AI creative production at speed. The use case here is separate from account management entirely. ChatGPT's image generation, currently running on GPT Image 2, is the fastest path from a product brief to a testable meta-static ad that exists right now. The practical workflow: drop your product URL or a product image into ChatGPT. Write a prompt describing the ad concept, angle, and format you want, and you're generating production-ready static creatives in under 2 minutes. No designer, no back-and-forth briefing, no waiting. You can generate 10 variations of the same concept in the time it takes to send one design brief. For accounts that need to hit 15 to 30 new creative tests per week to stay competitive on Meta in 2026, this closes the production bottleneck faster than any other tool on this list. The prompting approach that actually works is specific. You're not writing vague descriptions. You're feeding it exact dimensions, placement format, the hook text you want on screen, the visual treatment, the brand color or product shot as a reference image. The more specific the input, the less the output drifts. The workflow that high-volume creative teams are running: Claude or ChatGPT writes the angle matrix and hook variants first, the actual copy strategy, then ChatGPT image generates the visual for each. You've got the copy and the creative aligned before anything goes into the account. The AI doesn't replace the creative director, it eliminates the production bottleneck between concept and deliverable. That's a meaningful shift in how fast you can iterate on what's working. N8N plus AI creative reporting, replacing the weekly analysis. Creative reporting is one of the most time-consuming recurring tasks in any Meta ads operation. Pulling the data, cross-referencing hook performance against watch time, identifying which format is generating the lowest cost per purchase, flagging what's fatiguing done manually, that's 2 to 3 hours a week minimum. Done with N8N and an AI layer, it's a scheduled workflow that runs itself and delivers the analysis to your inbox or Slack channel before you've opened your laptop. The workflow structure is straightforward. Meta Ads API pulls creative performance data on a weekly schedule. An AI agent node analyzes each ad against your defined benchmarks and prompts it to return a structured JSON response with a scale, optimize, or pause recommendation, and the final output populates a clean report. The detail that makes this actually useful versus just automated is the benchmark layer. You're not asking the AI to evaluate ads in a vacuum. You're feeding it your account's historical averages, your average hook rate, your average cost per purchase, your average CTR by format, and telling it to evaluate each creative relative to those numbers. That's what turns a generic AI analysis into an actionable account-specific signal. The second thing to get right is the prompt. Vague prompts produce vague recommendations. The operators getting real value from this are writing prompts that specify the exact metrics to evaluate, the thresholds that trigger each recommendation, and the output format they want back. Build that once, it runs every week, and your Monday morning starts with a complete creative brief instead of a data pull. Zapier AI agents, no-code meta ads automation. Zapier launched autonomous AI agents out of beta in January 2026. The difference from a standard Zap is meaningful. A Zap follows a fixed trigger action path. If this happens, do that. An agent can plan its own steps toward a goal you describe in plain English. Connect meta ads, Google Sheets, Slack, and an LLM in one agent. Tell it, every Monday morning, pull last week's meta performance, identify any campaign where cost per acquisition is more than 20% above target, write a brief with specific recommendations, and post it to the team Slack channel. The agent figures out the steps. You didn't write a single rule. For teams without a developer, this is the fastest path to automated meta reporting and alerting that exists. The honest trade-off against N8N is straightforward. Zapier is dramatically faster to set up. No terminal, no JSON config, no server to maintain. The AI tier starts at $69 a month and covers unlimited agent steps. If your workflow is reporting, alerting, and simple conditional actions, Zapier handles it in an hour versus N8N's 2 to 4 hour setup for someone without automation experience. The ceiling is lower. Complex multi-condition logic, custom API calls, local data storage, production-grade pipelines, handling dozens of accounts simultaneously, and 8N wins on all of that. But most operators running 1 to 5 ad accounts with no developer resource don't need that ceiling. They need something working this week. For that use case, Zapier with an AI agent connected to Meta Ads and Slack is the fastest legitimate automation path on this list. Building your own Meta Ads AI agent stack? The pattern emerging at the top end of this space is operators stopping using individual tools and building a custom agent stack that runs the account. The architecture is consistent across the people doing it well. Claude or GPT-4 as the reasoning layer connected to Meta via the official MCP for read access. A Google Sheets or Airtable layer as persistent memory where account benchmarks, creative performance history, and approved structures live. N8N or Zapier as the orchestration layer that schedules everything and routes data between tools. Slack as the human interface where the agent delivers its daily action list and where you approve or override before anything executes. The agent runs the morning audit, surfaces anomalies, flags fatiguing creative, drafts briefs for the next round of tests, and posts a prioritized action list. You review, you approve, it executes. The cost of this stack is close to zero beyond what you're already paying. The Meta MCP is free in open beta. N8N self-hosted is free. Claude API calls for a daily account audit cost a few cents. The only real investment is the setup time, and that's measured in days, not weeks, for anyone who's followed the workflows described throughout this video. What you're building is a system that monitors your account around the clock, never forgets to check frequency, surfaces problems before they drain budget, and eliminates the daily operational overhead that used to eat the majority of a media buyer's week. The operators building this now are compressing their time on account from 12 to 15 hours a week down to under 2. That's not a marginal improvement, that's a different business model.